You haven't eaten a single carb in 3 weeks. You've been to the gym 5 times this week, and that belly fat hasn't moved an inch. Here's something nobody told you. The fat loss battle isn't won at the gym. It's won or lost in the first 20 minutes after you open your eyes. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to do in that window, backed by real research, not wellness influencer guesswork. There are 5 things people unknowingly do every single morning that keep one's stress hormone elevated all day long. I'll walk through all 5, why they matter, and the one most people get backwards. Stick around for that last one. It's the one almost nobody talks about, and it might be the biggest lever of all. Let's talk about cortisol. Not as a villain, your body needs it to wake you up, but as a hormone that's easy to mismanage without realizing it. Researchers have a name for what happens in your first 30 waking minutes: the cortisol awakening response. It's a normal, sharp rise in cortisol that happens to everyone. The problem isn't that it happens, it's what you do while it's happening. Stack the wrong inputs onto that natural spike: dehydration, stimulants, screens, stress, and instead of settling back down, it stays elevated longer than it should. And chronically elevated cortisol is consistently linked in metabolic research to fat storage that concentrates around the abdomen rather than other areas, because cortisol signals your body to protect its organs. So the goal isn't to eliminate the spike, it's to stop piling onto it. Here's what that looks like in practice. Most people's first move is coffee on an empty, dehydrated body. After 7-8 hours without water, your cells are already running low on this, and caffeine is a stimulant layered directly on top of that deficit, right as cortisol is naturally peaking. Try this instead: a glass of warm water with a pinch of salt and a squeeze of lemon before anything else. The salt helps replace electrolytes, including magnesium, which plays a role in regulating stress hormones, and there's clinical evidence that adequate vitamin C intake can blunt the size of a cortisol spike during stressful events. 2 minutes, no equipment, and you've changed your body's starting conditions for the whole day. Within your first half hour awake, get 5 to 10 minutes of actual outdoor light, not through a window, not your phone brightness turned up. This isn't a wellness myth. Sachin Panda's lab at the Salk Institute has spent years studying circadian biology, and that body of research consistently shows that morning light exposure is one of the strongest signals for setting your internal clock, which in turn affects sleep quality, appetite hormones, and next morning cortisol regulation. Skip this step and you're running your whole system on a clock that's slightly out of sync every day. This is the one people resist most: delay coffee by 60-90 minutes after waking. When you wake up, a compound called adenosine, the thing that makes you feel groggy, hasn't cleared out yet. Caffeine works by blocking adenosine receptors, but if you drink it while they're still full, the adenosine doesn't disappear, it just queues up. It tends to hit later in the day as a crash, which your body often reads as a stressor, and that's when the sugar cravings and second cortisol bump show up. Several researchers in sleep science, including Stanford's Andrew Huberman, have publicly described delaying caffeine for this exact reason. You don't lose the coffee, you just stop wasting it. Intense exercise has real benefits, but right after waking, during that natural cortisol peak, an all-out workout adds stress on top of stress. Some research on morning high-intensity training shows cortisol staying elevated for hours afterward, even after the endorphin high fades. The lower stress alternative, a 20-30 minute walk outdoors. It won't torch as many calories in the moment, but a calm walk is one of the more reliably documented ways to bring stress hormones down rather than up, and it costs you nothing. Here's the one most people skip, and the one I think matters more than any of the other 4 combined. The instant you open your phone, you're hit with a stream of notifications, headlines, and messages, each one a tiny jolt to your nervous system. Researchers who study attention and dopamine, like Stanford psychiatrist Lembke, have written about how this kind of early, repeated stimulation can raise your baseline need for stimulation across the whole day, meaning it takes more stress, more scrolling, more something just to feel normal. That's not a great way to start a system that's already managing a natural cortisol spike. 30 minutes of no phone isn't about discipline. It's about giving your nervous system room to come online, gradually instead of all at once. So here's the lever I promised. Of these 5, the phone-free window is the one almost nobody does, and arguably the one with the most leverage, because it affects how reactive your whole nervous system is for the rest of the day. Water, sunlight, delayed caffeine, and a walk all help, but protecting that first 30 minutes from input overload is the piece most people skip entirely. None of this replaces food quality or training. It's not a substitute for either. But if you've already cleaned up your diet and you're still stuck, your morning, not your macro, might be the next place to look. Try one of these tomorrow, just one. Let me know in the comments which one you're starting with.